Part 42. My green plums are super sweet. Author, Luke Hixie. Chapter 411. Chapter 411 The hero saves the beauty. Senior brother Gao Mennan followed the address to the finance school to look for Ye Weiwei. On the way, he accidentally saw a middle-aged man touching the female college student. He immediately rushed up and gave him a flying kick. Li Jiangguo was kicked in the and fell to the ground. Leng Rugjiu was completely unprepared for everything and stared blankly at a macho man holding a rainbow lollipop in his mouth. Senior brother has always had a chivalrous heart to use force to eliminate evil, and he is also a bit single-minded. When the senior brother saw that the middle-aged wretched man was still not leaving, he raised his feet, made gestures with his hands, and made a ferocious expression on his face. He forgot that he still had a rainbow lollipop in his mouth. With a couple of grunts, the senior brother took out the lollipop and threw it back, seemingly carelessly, but he threw it impartially into the trash can. "Why don't you get out of here and wait to be beaten?" Finance owner Li Jiangguo looked confused. Seeing that the elder brother was so aggressive and difficult to provoke, he cursed a few words and left angrily. After finishing the matter, the senior brother turned around and looked at Leng Rugjiu. He saw that she did not speak or move from beginning to end, so he thought she was frightened. The senior brother immediately rolled up his sleeves and showed off his muscles. "Don't be afraid, sister, I can help you solve all your troubles with just one fist." Leng Rugjiu reacted and said thank you. Elder brother waved his hand to express that you are welcome. Leng Rugjiu is going back to school, and her senior brother is following behind. Leng Rugjiu couldn't help but take a few more glances and found that this big man had been following her, which made her a little uneasy. Because this person is not a student of the college at first glance. Leng Rugjiu was very wary of the outside world, so she immediately sped up and ran forward. When the senior brother saw her running, he followed her inexplicably. Leng Rugjiu suddenly stopped and asked, "What do you want to do?" The senior brother stopped steadily and scratched his head stupidly. "I saw you running, so I ran after you twice." "Why are you following me?" "Hi, no, I just dropped by the school to find my junior sister. This path is only for the School of Finance." Leng Rugjiu sighed and continued walking forward, but she heard Gao Mennan calling in a rough voice from behind, "Junior sister, I'm coming." Ye Weiwei said on the phone to wait for him at the school gate. Gao Mennan made the final decision, "Okay, wait for me at the door." Leng Rugjiu walked to the school gate and found Ye Weiwei and Luo Yuxi standing there and watching. Their eyes met. When Leng Rugjiu saw Ye Yuyi, she hesitated and walked over. At this moment, the senior brother happened to be here too. "Little junior sister, I miss you so much." Elder brother ran towards her enthusiastically, but instead of hugging, the two of them waved their fists, while Ye Weiwei stretched out her hand to resist. Elder brother didn't let his attack slip. If Ye Weiwei couldn't catch it, she would definitely get a punch. But the amazing thing is that Ye Weiwei steadily caught every move of his senior brother, and even the fight between the two was a tacit understanding. "Sir, your lollipop is gone." The only threat in the night, senior brother immediately stopped. It was as if the big tiger suddenly turned into a little sheep. "Junior sister, we can make an agreement." Leng Rugjiu watched their interaction and was very shocked when she heard their exchange. Such a rough and fierce man is actually the only senior brother of Ye, who is known as the Little Fairy. The two people looked at each other, and they both bumped into her affair with the funder Li Jiangguo. Leng Rugjiu's heartbeat accelerated and she felt very uneasy. I don't know what the donor was thinking. Just as he left in anger, he called her again and asked her to come back. "Have you seen the CP? Kaibao, please vote and leave a message to reward I love you." End of this chapter. My green plums are super sweet. Author, Luke Hixie. Chapter 412. Chapter 412, Love at First Sight, Love at Second Sight. Leng Rugjiu left school twice a day and returned to the dormitory with wounds on her face. Ye Weiwei suddenly realized the seriousness of the matter. She approached Leng Rugjiu on the pretext of helping apply medicine and asked, "Why did it happen like this? Did you do that?" Leng Rugjiu's eyes signaled her not to talk nonsense. "I thank you for keeping my secret, but there are many things that you can't control, so don't know too much." Okay, Ye Weiwei thought that she was not a holy mother, and no one else asked for help, so why should she bother? Leng Rugjiu discovered that the sponsor had a very explosive temper recently. Every time he asked her to go out, he would not do that kind of thing anymore. Every time, he would ask her to go out to drink with her, and would beat her if she was unhappy. The man was drunk without any scruples, and the injuries on his face were relatively few. She wanted to resist many times, but she still endured the humiliation and pain because of her mother's expensive medical expenses. Leng Rugjiu vaguely heard some clues from some of the funder's phone calls. It seemed that there was something wrong with the funder's company, and he came to vent his bad temper. The donor himself is not good at it, so he does not look for random women like other rich people, but a fixed type of woman that he can control. He hates Leng Rugjiu most when he pretends to be noble even though he clearly needs money, so he always comes to Leng Rugjiu to vent his anger. It's just that the sponsor was unlucky this time. When he was taking Leng Rugjiu with him, he was bumped into by the senior brother again. The senior brother beat the person up and threatened the funder to leave. The donor drank wine and didn't know how to ask Leng Rugjiu to testify for him. When he felt the crisis, he walked around and threatened. The elder brother didn't feel cold and snowy, and said what he said, "Big girl, you just look too good before being stared at, you don't want to go out alone." These words were actually said by teacher Shirley to female students before, in order to let the female students practice protecting themselves, so the senior brother also applied these words to Leng Rugjiu. Leng Rugjiu felt an indescribable feeling in her heart when she saw the strong man in front of her and listened to his simple tone. "Thanks. It's okay, you are my junior sister's roommate, and also my roommate, it doesn't seem right. Elder brother often tells people, you are my brother's friend and also my friend. No, it's easy to say once you're used to it." Elder brother slapped his forehead. "I said the wrong thing, sister, don't mind." "No, it's okay. This generous man looks silly, but he is a bit cute." But facing this kind of person who simply wanted to help her, Leng Rugjiu felt even more ashamed. On the day of the Big Brother's game, Ye Wei happily went to cheer him on and asked his roommate if he was interested. Of course Luo Yuxi is willing, and Xia Ziun also expressed that she wants to broadcast live. Just when they thought Leng Rugjiu would definitely refuse, Leng Rugjiu magically raised her hand and said, "I'll go too." The 4 people in the dormitory finally gathered together. A very powerful senior brother successfully won rewards in the competition. When the senior brother was planning to return to City S, he came to the School of Finance by accident. The reason was to say goodbye to his junior sister, but by chance, he met Leng Rugjiu and his financial sponsor. Elder brother finally realized that something was wrong. He still couldn't stand it and drove away the sponsor. Even though the sponsor asked Leng Rugjiu to prove that they were together, the senior brother still drove away the sponsor. The funder said that he would find someone to mess with him. Leng Rugjiu hurriedly begged for mercy, but was slapped by the sponsor. Elder brother quickly pulled Leng Rugjiu aside and said, "Don't worry about men fighting. Some people, one glance can last a lifetime, 520 is coming soon." End of this chapter. You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. My green plums are super sweet. Author, Lukixi. Chapter 413. Chapter 413. Brother, I'm at the police station. Leng Rugjiu never thought that a man would fight for her. Ye Weiwei also didn't expect that one day she would go into the police station, to claim her senior brother. Jinzu couldn't defeat the senior brother, so he called the police. Elder brother likes to act recklessly and is not good at verbal disputes. He was blocked by the funder in front of the police and could not refute, so he suffered a big loss. When Ye Weiwei went to the police station to pick her up, she was told that she was underage and would not be allowed to pick her up at all. There was no other way. Ye could only think of Yezikin. "Brother, I'm at the police station." She just said that, and the matter became a big deal. Because the director personally took action and was respectful to Ye Yi, this made Len Rugjiu and the funder stupid. Ye Weiwei successfully led the people out, but Jin mainly took Len Rugjiu away. "Len Rugjiu, you have to figure out who you should target," the donor was threatening her mother again. Len Rugjiu sighed helplessly, "I understand. She had to reject Ye Wei and her senior brother's kindness. This is my own business, I don't need your intervention, thank you. This feeling is that you do good things but others don't appreciate it." Of course, Ye Weiwei was unwilling to stick to him, and immediately wanted to pull his senior brother away. The senior brother stubbornly wanted to take Len Rugjiu away. Ye Weiwei sighed helplessly, "Elder brother, what are you doing? She doesn't appreciate it at all. Junior sister, I can see that she is not willing. She must have some difficulties. We must help." It's not that Ye Zi hasn't thought about it, but every time she asks Len Rugjiu is self-centered and unwilling to tell her pain. She wasn't familiar with him either, so she couldn't afford to be hot-faced and cold-blooded. But the senior brother is stubborn and insists on taking Len Rugjiu with him. There was no other way. Ye Weiwei had no choice but to help. "Mr. Li, Xiaoxiu is my roommate. We have to rush back to school. If you have anything, you can contact me later. You are that roommate, you look better in person than in the photos." Originally, the financial owner was attracted to Ye Weiwei when he saw her, but seeing that she was related to the director, he had not dared to tease the little fairy. At this moment, his true nature has finally been revealed. However, Ye Weiwei was completely impatient. She and her senior brother looked at each other in a tacit understanding, each of them dealt with one of them, and took Len Rugjiu away by force. The financial owner was covering his legs from behind and screaming continuously. Len Rugjiu didn't say a word except thanking her. After sending the two girls back to school, the eldest brother suddenly said that he would stay in G City in the near future. Yi is of course happy. Yi is of course happy. Len Rugjiu was in a daze. "Thank you for helping me." "You do have to thank me, but you should thank my senior brother even more, because he insisted on saving you." "Yes, I should thank him, but she didn't know how to thank that kind man. She always felt that facing such a sincere heart would make her look dirtier." Ye Weiwei couldn't help but ask her for the third time, "So, why on earth would you do that kind of thing?" Len Rugjiu silent. Ye Wei really felt that everything he did was in vain. But at this moment, Len Rugjiu suddenly answered her with 3 words, "Because of money." "Money is all about money, isn't it? Better for you to earn it by your own ability. Young ladies with status like you don't need to worry about money at all, but my mother is in the hospital and needs expensive medical bills. What can I do? I'm sorry, I should control my emotions, this is my business, no one can help me. What if I can help?" Thanks to Tingyu Sun's Hung for the reward. Everyone, please pay attention to tomorrow's update, the reward list will be announced. End of this chapter. My green plums are super sweet. Author, Lu Kixi. Chapter 414. Chapter 414. Let him be devoted to you. Ye only made a confident promise, "You need money now, I can give it to you." "What do you want me to do?" Len Rugjiu subconsciously thought it was some kind of equivalent transaction. Tisk Ye Weiwei shook his head, "Don't be so vigilant. I just don't want my roommates to be together for 3 or 4 years in the future to become slaves manipulated by money. It would be very unpleasant to say that. That's it? Yes, we will make an IOU for how much you need, plus interest. The fact that you can come to this school shows that you are not stupid, and your professional courses are also good. Maybe you will be a talent in the future, so I won't lose anything. You really think so? I said, don't be so vigilant. My idea is not complicated. If you agree, I will draw up an agreement with the content within feasible principles. Hearing what Ye Wei said, Len Rugjia was moved. She had been so depraved that even if Ye Wei asked her to do anything, it would still be better than before. Len Rugjia no longer hesitated and nodded in agreement. Ye Wei quickly wrote a simple agreement. There was no illegal matter like murder and arson. Len Rugjia quickly signed it. Finally solved the only problem in the dormitory, Ye Wei breathed a sigh of relief. However, her creditor also came to her door. Little Belle, the police station and the 1 million, how do you plan to repay them? Yezikin's voice seemed to have become a debt collection curse. Ye Wei had a big head and she felt that she would be miserably oppressed. Looking at Luo Yuxi's comments on the space, hundreds of likes and comments were received. Ye Wei felt that she must be very good at making people happy. So, Ye Wei planned to learn from her. Luo, if you want to make someone happy, what should you do? Luo Yuxi glanced at her and asked, male or female? Ye Wei blinked, female. Huh, Luo Yuxi had already seen through her little thoughts. Ye Wei lowered his head and admitted, okay, man. Luo Yuxi held up her beautiful and invincible face and looked left and right. To capture a man's heart, you must first capture his stomach. Ye Wei scratched his hair, that's what I said, but it's Brother Chen who cooks every time. Luo Yuxi put down her earphones and told her the rules of love seriously. Hey, in today's society, men should cook. You can't let pretty girls go to the kitchen every day. You just need to show off your cooking skills occasionally to ensure that he's totally devoted to you. Ye Wei lay down at her table, holding her chin in her hands, listening carefully. I just want to make him happy, I just want to repay him, but I don't think of anything so profound, destined. Luo Yuxi smiled meaningfully, of course you can do other things at times like this. What? I'll take you to the department store to buy something on the weekend. Ye Wei thought that he had no choice, so he decided to take a gamble and believe her once. Okay. I have never been to a place like a department store in the evening. Today, when I walked around, I found that there were really many people here. After talking about shopping, the two women went to some cosmetics and accessories store. In the end, Luo Yuxi fell in love with a silver necklace at first sight. There happened to be an event in the mall where the second piece was half price. Luo Yuxi simply called Ye Wei, Chiao, let's buy this. It's 925 silver, and the second piece is half price. But if you buy two of the same kind, you can only wear one. Ye Wei didn't think much about taking advantage of those. Luo Yuxi said happily, we each have one, a sister necklace. Please remember this necklace. Guess when it will happen? Guess and win prizes. End of this chapter. My green plums are super sweet. Author, Lu Kixi. Chapter 415. Chapter 415. She went to seduce Yezikin? Luo Yuxi said she wanted to buy two identical necklaces as sister necklaces, and Ye Wei followed her wishes and paid for them. But Luo, you haven't told me what to do to make my brother happy. You've been calling me brother and brother all day long, and I feel like you're brother and sister. The night is so strange that I don't think so. But we grew up together and are used to it. You will have to change your words in the future anyway. Ah. Luo Yuxi found it incredible to see her expression look like she was confused. Forget it, you see you are still a childhood sweetheart. Why are you so stupid about feelings? I will show you some things today. Looking at Luo Yuxi's majestic and high-spirited look, Ye Wei's back straightened. The two came to a lingerie store, and Luo Yuxi walked out swaggeringly. Tell me if there's anything you like. These things. Although they are all women's products, she couldn't help but blush, pulled Luo Yuxi's arm and whispered, I have a lot of these things, I don't need them. You. Luo Yuxi looked at her from head to toe, her eyes resting on her breasts. After all, they are roommates living together, and they have seen Ye Wei's dressing style before. Mainly pure white, or other very light colors. In short, it is a little fresh that suits the little fairy style. You can't do that. Ye Wei started to choose as Luo Yuxi said, but no matter what she chose, Luo Yuxi always crossed her hands to make an X gesture. Ye Wei really has no choice. What on earth are you going to do? Luo Yuxi looked at her with a look of hatred, walked to the dark area, took off the very tempting style and gave it to her, take it. Ye Wei saw the pear in his hand, and the corner of his mouth twitched. She was confused just now because she had never thought about this before. If she still doesn't know what Luo Yuxi means, then she is probably stupid. Luo, you have read too many novels. Do you still expect her to wear this kind of clothes to seduce Yezikin? Ye Wei emphasized again, I just want him to be happy. This kind of thing will make him happy. But I think he'll feel bad. How could it be? He must be enjoying it, Luo Yuxi asked, who doesn't like to be close to the one he loves? Is that how you understand it? Ye Wei was still a little unsure. Luo Yuxi put something on her hand and said seriously, believe me, I'm right. You'll know after you try it. In the end, Ye Wei walked out of the underwear store with a red face. But more than that, she also felt that what Luo Yuxi said, to capture a man's heart, you must first capture a man's stomach, is quite reasonable. She and Luo Yuxi separated and went to the supermarket to buy a lot of ingredients. She can cook and stir fry, but these are very common. She planned to prepare carefully today. After Ye Wei carried her things back, she first ran back to the room and put down the bag. When she walked to the door, she went back and stuffed the bag into the underwear area. When she saw the underwear of a completely different style, she took out the things again. Obviously she knows that no one will come to look through her things, but she doesn't feel safe wherever she puts them. Little Belle, is it in the room? Suddenly Yezikin's voice came from the door. Ye Wei was looking for a place in a panic, and accidentally bumped into a cabinet and made a noise. Yezikin, who was about to leave, pushed the door open and happened to see her holding a bag in one hand and covering her forehead with the other. This silly fufu girl, if it weren't for the fact that you are still a minor, you would have been eaten up long ago. End of this chapter. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. My green plums are super sweet. Author, Lukixi. Chapter 416. Chapter 416 Proposal. Yeah, seeing Yezikin come in, Ye Wei quickly threw the bag in his hand into the closet. If she put the things down slowly, it would not attract anyone's attention. Instead, it was her actions that made Yezikin take a few more glances. Yezikin walked over, looked at where she was rubbing her head, took her hand off, and pressed it gently for her with his gentle big palm. Why are you so careless and hurting yourself every day? After training her, she seemed to come to a conclusion, she is still as unable to take care of herself as she was when she was a child. Brother, I've grown up, Ye Wei retorted unwillingly. Yezikin did not argue with her. After a few gentle touches, he asked her, does it still hurt? Ye Wei shook his head, I just touched it lightly and it doesn't hurt anymore. Yezikin's eyes moved back and fell on her closed wardrobe, and suddenly said, what were you hiding just now? There's nothing hidden. Ye Wei raised his head reflexively, feeling so guilty that his heartbeat accelerated. Um. I, I, I really didn't hide anything. After saying this intermittently, Ye Wei wanted to slap himself into the ground. When will she get rid of her habit of stuttering when she's nervous? There is no way to lie, as soon as you lie, you will be exposed. Yezikin made a move to open the closet. Ye Wei leaned back and pressed his whole body against the closet, refusing to open the door. Brother, it's really nothing. They are all girls' things. You can't look at them. Yezikin glanced at her, with an ambiguous smile on his lips. I've seen your whole body, is there anything I can't see? Brother Chen, how can you say that? When she became anxious, her face and neck instantly heated up and turned red. When the girl you love faces you with a shy look, who can control it? Yezikin can't do it anyway. With a push of his hands, he locked Yes' only small body between the double walls, lifted her chin as if he was being seduced, and pressed his lips to hers. The only big surprise in the night? This is different from what was promised. She didn't even use Luo Yuxi's tricks, and Yezikin was already turning into a wolf. Yezikin let her go without knowing when, and stared at her with stern eyes, as if trying to see through her. Are you still distracted when you kiss me? I didn't, well. There was no chance to refute, and he was suppressed again. His hands forced her wrists to hold her tightly against the wardrobe, and the kiss became more intimate and familiar. In the end, Ye was the only one who lost, relying on him helplessly. She suddenly wanted to figure out something. Brother Chen, can we be considered boyfriend and girlfriend? Yezikin fiddled with 2 strands of hair and gently ran his fingers through her long hair. Instead, he asked her, what do you think? Ye Wei has always made it very obvious, just asking, Yezikin, can you be my boyfriend? But what they did is obviously something that can only be done between lovers. Thinking of this, Ye Wei felt particularly aggrieved. You have never acknowledged our relationship. You are still young, wait until you are 18 years old. When that day comes, he will return her a Chiao family. At that time, he not only wanted to establish a relationship between boyfriend and girlfriend, but also wanted to be with her in another identity. The person he has identified with from the very beginning, he is extremely sure that he will never let go in his whole life. I am 18 years old and 2 months away. Brother Chen, what are you going to do? Proposal. Yes, Xiao, if you don't sing, you will be a blockbuster. Proposal. End of this chapter. My green plums are super sweet. Author, Lu Kixi. Chapter 417. Chapter 417, 24 Filial piety to husband. I heard it wrong. Ye Wei covered her mouth in surprise, unable to believe what her ears heard. Yezikin touched her head but gave no further explanation. Okay, now is it time to go down and study the pile of ingredients you bought? Hey, brother, how do you know? Yezikin shrugged, there are a bunch of them in the living room. I have very good eyesight. Ye Wei touched the bridge of his nose guiltily. She was busy hiding things just now, so she put the dishes in the living room. Yezikin would pass by when he came back, so it was inevitable that he would see her. Thinking of the special temptation of being hidden, the blush on Ye Wei's face couldn't go away. She used the excuse of cooking to push Yezikin out. Yezikin followed her and seemed to have forgotten what he wanted to investigate just now. This time the two of them cooked together, but the only one who did the cooking was Ye. Ye Wei was very curious. Brother Chen, how did you learn it in the first place? I remember you didn't have any cooking courses. Yezikin is a typical child from other families, capable of all decathlons, and had nothing but various studies in his childhood. But Ye Wei clearly remembered that Madame Ye did not arrange cooking lessons for Yezikin. I wonder which kitten is greedy and insists on asking me for it? The meaning behind those words is very clear, her. Yeah, Yue blinked, isn't it me who did something? You really don't remember? Ye Wei shook his head, and then shook his head. Yezikin raised his hand and hit her head directly. When Ye Wei was first adopted into Ye's family, she was very scared and shy. Even though she was called Miss Ye, she still didn't dare to do whatever she wanted in Ye's house. Even if she was hungry and wanted to eat in the middle of the night, she was embarrassed to call someone. Children are not allowed to eat snacks in Yejia. Yue was so hungry that he ran to the refrigerator to look for it. Yejia also cleans up the refrigerator every night and buys new things in the morning. There is nothing to fill her stomach except milk. So Xiao Wei ran to the kitchen, but how could there be leftovers in Yejia? During that time, she couldn't fall asleep on time and would get hungry in the middle of the night. Xiao Wei didn't dare to say she was hungry, and was finally discovered by Yezikin. Yezikin asked the chef to make her a midnight snack, but Ye Wei pulled him and refused to go. No, no, the little bell won't cause any trouble. She had heard some servants in the Ye family say that she was a troublesome person who had been picked up, so she was very sensitive to those things. Of course Yezikin was not willing to make her hungry, so she still called the chef. Seeing that the little girl was very reserved, he began to take time out to learn how to make cakes and other things. He would prepare them for her every day and change her schedule. Later, she would not be hungry until midnight, and his cooking skills became more and more sophisticated. Hearing a few key reminders from Yezikin, Ye Wei had already connected the original memories together. She turned her head to the side and laughed secretly. From the moment she fell into the water at Ye's house and was rescued by him, from the moment she threw herself into Yezikin's arms and called her brother to hug her, Yezikin has always been very good to her. She will never meet such a good person in her life. A dong sound interrupted her train of thought. It seems to be your mobile phone. Well, help me take a look. Yezikin has already started work, and his hands must not be empty. Ye Wei quickly washed his hands twice and picked up his mobile phone. There was a message prompt on the screen. Press your thumb to unlock. When you open it, you will see a number without notes. Brother Chen, Pei Yuchen is still investigating Mrs. Jiao's affairs, what should we do next? Signature, Moer. Brother Chen is a good man who has developed into a filial husband since childhood. 520 Happy, are you single today? End of this chapter. My green plums are super sweet. Author, Luke Hixie. Chapter 418. Chapter 418, I like you so much that I want to possess you. Brother Chen, why did Li Moer send you a text message saying that Pei Yuchen was checking on my grandma? Ye Wei held Yezikin's cell phone and looked at the text message, feeling heavy in his heart. Yezikin frowned, who sent it and what did it say? Ye Wei raised her phone and asked him to read the text message clearly, staring straight at him, hoping he could give a reasonable explanation. Yezikin's face became a little embarrassed, as if he was hiding something and didn't want to say it. Ye Wei saw the change in his expression and became nervous. Why? Why did Li Moer send Yezikin information about Grandma Jiao? Ye Wei had to think more. Could it be that what happened last time really had something to do with Li Moer? Yezikin's eyes flashed with a hint of darkness. Little Bell, don't make random guesses. Random guessing? Brother, are you defending Li Moer? Are you speaking for her? Her heart is too sensitive, and the slightest thing going wrong will make her uneasy. Yezikin turned off the electricity and fire, stopped what he was doing, and took the phone back from Ye Wei's hand. He explained, the reason why Li Moer said that was just to find an excuse for me to reply. What, so that's it? As soon as Yezikin explained, Ye Wei believed him without hesitation. But one question that bothered her was, does she often do that? Well, it's relatively rare. I never take this kind of thing seriously, so I didn't tell you. Brother Chen, don't worry, I won't doubt you. I'm just annoying that Li Moer, who goes against me every time. From the moment Limor appeared as Yezikin's new sister, they were destined to dislike each other. Limor hates her to death, and she also hates Limor to death. Fortunately, Yezikin stood by her side unconditionally and immediately expressed his stance: "I won't pay attention to her." Yeah, Wei nodded happily, his fingers suddenly bent to grab the hem of his clothes, his teeth slid across his lower lip, and he asked tentatively, "Brother, do you think I'm too selfish?" "What do you think?" I just like Brother Chen so much that I don't want to share you with others, and that Limor has a bad mind and is not qualified to be your sister." She spoke out her inner thoughts intermittently and plunged into Yezikin's arms. Girls who are cute and affectionate are the most lovable. Yezikin laughed softly and stroked her cheek with a gentle palm. "Of course, you don't have to share me with anyone. He just likes her selfish side. If she is willing to share it with others, it will really make him sad." Yai Wei leaned in his arms and smiled warmly. "Forget about the Ye family and the Chiao family, no one else will disturb them. If she can always stay quietly like this with the people she likes, that is what she dreams of. This weekend, Ye Wei had a great time. But she has to go back to school this Sunday night. The reason is, the English club I am enrolled in has an early reading tomorrow and I can check in. I have to earn credits first." The car stopped about 50 meters away from the school. Ye Wei opened the car door, and Yezikin planned to follow her out. Ye Wei quickly stopped him. "I can just go back by myself. If you go first, I will be surrounded by people." "Well, send me a message when you get there." "Okay." Ye Wei waved to him. Just when Yezikin was about to reverse the car, he suddenly heard several screams in front of him. "Oh my God, someone was in an accident. I can tell you that it was indeed Xiaoling Dang who was in a car accident." End of this chapter. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. My green plums are super sweet. Author, Lu Kixi. Chapter 419. Chapter 419. Xiaoling had a car accident. There was a car accident at the school gate, and a group of students gathered around. "Isn't that freshman Xiaolian? A lot of blood was shed. Go to the infirmary quickly and call the doctor." The security guards at the school gate rushed out to evacuate the crowd, and the doctors who got the news were rushing here. Although most people recognized Ye Wei's identity, no one dared to step forward and pick him up or pull him up. A tall figure broke through the crowd and rushed in. He accurately found Ye's only position, bent down, picked him up and walked to the infirmary. The melon eaters who were left to watch were stunned on the spot. Melon eater A, the one just now, if I read it correctly, is Senior Yezikin, right? Melon eater B, the legendary night boss. Melon eater C was very sure, yes. I saw him at the opening ceremony. Melon eater A nodded, and asked the next question off guard: "Did Yezikin just take Xiao Li away?" Melon eater C nodded affirmatively again. "That's right. Boss, Ye really took Fairy Xiao away." Just when everyone was stunned, another person sitting on the ground stretched out a hand to ask for help. "Hey, can any of you help me?" The doctor who came from the infirmary got into the crowd and lifted the injured boy up. Only then did everyone see that his feet were dripping with blood. And Ye Wei, who was taken away by Yezikin. "Brother, I'm fine. You were obviously hit." Yezikin looked down and saw the normal look on the girl in his arms, and suddenly stopped. Her face looked normal, she did not cry out in pain, and she seemed to be fine. But by this time, passers-by had already recognized their identities, and many people looked towards them. Ye Wei's novel reminded him in his arms: "Brother, let me down quickly." Yezikin got off the bed when he saw that she was really fine. When his feet touched the ground, Yezikin still felt a sense of elation. Because, She heard the people next to her who thought they were talking quietly, but actually had a very clear discussion. Her and Yezikin's names were once again implicated. Thinking of everything that had happened in Xinjiao Academy, Yewei stood firm, deliberately controlled his voice to be slightly louder than usual, and bowed to Yezikin. "Thank you, Senior Yet. There is the infirmary in front of you. I can go in by myself. Thank you very much." These words of honor seemed to completely wipe out their only close relationship. He, Yezikin, is just a kind-hearted senior who accidentally helps a freshman with sprained feet, nothing more. After all, the accident happened at the school gate, so the schoolgirls don't need to take it to heart. Thanks. The very formulaic dialogue between the two people dispelled some of the people's thoughts, but they still found it incredible that Yezikin turned out to be such a caring man. Add points. The roommates and Su Yuchen, who hurried over after hearing that Jiao Lun was injured in a car accident and lying in the infirmary, found that the subject of the topic was eating melon outside the infirmary at the moment. It's really eating papaya. Given to her by a kind-hearted classmate. Chiao, are you okay? You scared me to death." "It's okay, I'm fine. Didn't I say you were in a car accident? There was a huge pool of blood in the picture they sent. There was a bicycle that was driving out of position. I gave way, and the taxi and the bicycle collided with each other. I accidentally fell down. As for bleeding, yes. Ouch, be gentle, it hurts." The man on the bicycle who was really hit in the foot screamed like a slaughtering pig. He, I lied to you in the last chapter. It was not Xiao Lingdang who got into the car accident. I just wanted to make you anxious. Confess your love to Kixi Festival, my dears. End of this chapter. My green plums are super sweet. Author, Lu Kixi. Chapter 420. Chapter 420. Yezikin hugged the princess in front of everyone. "Ouch, be gentle, it hurts. Why do you do this to me? You are such a cruel man. Cough cough cough." In the dormitory, Luo Yuxi is putting on a big show. The reason is that the man who was in the car accident was so weird that when others were trying to apply medicine to him, they kept telling him to be gentle, shouting that it hurt, and saying that the male doctor did it on purpose and was not as caring as the female doctor. In short, the man who had the car accident was sitting in the infirmary in high spirits, and the words that came out of his mouth were so arrogant that Luo Yuxi kept imitating his tone of voice after she came back, laughing until she was out of breath. Okay, Luo, stop learning. It's so pitiful that he even crashed. Poor. It's just that the leg is bleeding, and it's not to the point of breaking the leg. Luo Yuxi shook her head as she spoke, not feeling pity for the man at all. Even Xiaoziun agreed, yes, he was too good at cycling and he deserved to be hit. If I had known better, I should have taken out my phone and broadcast it live for him. It would have been a big hit. As an anchor, Xiaoziun's mind is full of what kind of videos can make her popular. Speaking of which, Xiaoziun started flipping through his cell phone. After clicking into the post, Xiaoziun said, "It's popular. It's popular." "What? What's so popular?" Luo Yuxi was startled. Xiaoziun bit into half of the apple and threw it away. She stared at Yewei and said, Chiao is on fire." The three heads leaned over and stared at Xiaoziun's small mobile phone. They saw a large number of posts about Yezikin and Yewei emerging in the campus post bar, mainly because they became hot posts and were seen by many people. Xiaoziun was stunned. Chiao, you are so good, you even won the title of senior yet." Yeziwei didn't know what to say when she heard this, but Luo Yuxi answered for her, "Otherwise, how can we say that our Chiao is so powerful? He would have made his." Luo Yuxi screamed because she felt someone pinching her finger. Receiving yes only warning look, Luo Yuxi kept the words in her heart. But soon, the posts about Yezikin and Yewei were quickly deleted. There are also small bar owners who come out to maintain order and remind everyone not to spread rumors to avoid being banned. Everyone lamented that a boss is still a boss and is not allowed to be blasphemed. Luo Yuxi secretly sent a message to Ye Weiwei on her mobile phone. It was 3 words, "Hey hey hey." Everyone understands this tacitly. Ye Weiwei smiled helplessly when she saw the photo on Luo Yuxi's friend page. She clicked in and saw that it was a photo taken by Luo Yuxi wearing the 5-star sister necklace around her neck. Sister's necklace, it's quite interesting to think about it. She also took out the necklace from her bag and put it on. Chiao Chiao, come on to the game, I'll take you to the Wild Roninta today. But I'm currently only on my own, that means she currently only has equipment that heals and adds blood. That's right, you are a healer and our DPS is indispensable for you. To put it bluntly, I just wanted to have a wet nurse to provide more protection if I wanted to get someone's head, so I didn't let go of the only novice in the night. Unable to resist Luo Yuxi's request, Ye Wei came up to support the gang. The DPS with the nanny felt very comfortable fighting in the wild. After a fight, they defeated the enemy camp. Ye Weiwei did not take any credit, and quietly played the game. There are a lot of gang news in the QQ group. Lingdang is progressing very quickly. Gang activities are almost here. You must learn like a newbie. She was praised by It and sent a few polite expressions. Suddenly, Luo Yuxi's game lover chatted with her privately. End of this chapter.